Polyamory. Does polyamory work? Let's find out. So let's define polyamory first. What is polyamory? Polyamory is not to be confused with polygamy. Polygamy is when one person has lots of spouses, like one man has many wives or one woman has many husbands. And by the way, it's illegal and prohibited in all 50 states in America. In all 50 states, it's prohibited. Even in Utah, people are not allowed, where there are a big Mormon community, people are not allowed to have one spouse at the same time. So that's polygamy. Now, polyamory is not an open relationship either, or not swinging. Open relationship is when a couple, let's say, decide that they're gonna engage in sexual interactions on the side. And they promise to each other that it's strictly sexual. There is no emotions involved. That's an open relationship. And then swinging is when you come to a party, to a club, and you have lots of people, and you swap your wife for another woman or someone else's wife, and then, or you swap your husband for some other guy, and then you all have a lot of fun, a lot of satisfaction, a lot of sperm flying around, and you're all very happy and satisfied. That's swinging. Polyamory is a blanket term for many types of relationship where at least one person is intimately involved with more than just one person. It could be two people involved with more people, but at least one person is involved emotionally and sexually, usually involved with more than just one person. That's polyamory. And all parties involved are knowing and consenting of each other. So the idea of polyamory is very beautiful. No lies, everything is in the open. We accept that we are not monogamous creatures. We have different desires. Let's execute them. And then we all together deal with our jealousy and our possessiveness, the traits that we all have from birth. What are the types of polyamorous relationship? There are many types, but I'll just generalize and I'll give you three. So one is polyfidelity. So let's say it's a triad, one girl and two guys. It helps when someone is bisexual, like a guy is bisexual, or if it's one man and two women and the woman is bisexual, it helps to keep it all together. But it's not necessarily have to be that way. For example, the girl loves men, and so she sleeps with both men, and men do not sleep with each other, but they deeply love each other on an emotional level, and they love that their beautiful woman is satisfied from both of them. They actually made up a word for it. Compersion is when one man is not jealous that his woman is sleeping with another man, but he's happy because she's orgasming, and so she's happy, and so that makes him happy. So they call it compersion. So that's one type of relationship. And so they're faithful to each other within the group, and they do not have external relationship. They're only allowed to exercise intimacy in the triad. And then there is a polyhierarchical relationship. It's hard for me to pronounce. Polyhierarchical relationship. It's when a primary couple, let's say husband and wife, decide that they are ready to bring someone else into their life. So they are the priority to each other. So, and each of the spouses, let's say, have a say whether it's okay to bring that other person or not into their lives. So they are the primary partners, and the other partners are secondary. So let's say if they are going to move states, they will move together, but not necessarily they're secondary partners. So that's a hierarchical poly. And then there is non-hierarchical poly. You can still be married to someone, but your spouse doesn't have a say who are you willing to see, because all relationships are considered equal. So those kind of people, they cherish freedom above all and personal independence. And it seemed to work for them. So those are the three types. Can polyamory work? Yes, because it does work for some people. Because by nature, we are not monogamous. There is a small percentage of animal kingdom that are monogamous, truly monogamous, but it's a very small percent. And of course, there are people who are truly monogamous. But majority of us, let's say, how about you? Like, you look around, you see beautiful women, you see beautiful men, you feel drawn to them, and you'd like to exercise your desires, but usually we choose not to, and we stick to one person. And when we marry that one person, and we give up the rest of the world for that one person in order to gain beautiful things like family, trust, security. So polyamorous people say, well, no, I don't want to settle for that. And in fact, I'd like to exercise that feeling of jealousy and possessiveness. I don't believe it's coming from nowhere good. It's coming from some sort of limited perspective. So I would like to overcome that. And so they work on that. So polyamorous relationship is this huge group therapy where they talk a lot. So what are the pluses of polyamorous relationship? Well, there are more people, there's more love to go around. Imagine, well, you have a child, and then there's more child and support for that child. There is more money, there's more skills contributed into your household. You don't have to lie, everything is in the open, you all support each other, and you're free to do certain things that you would not be able to do in a monogamous relationship. It sounds very beautiful, right? Let's talk about the minuses. Well, the first and big minus is that our current society does not accept the idea of polyamory. So therefore, polyamorous people are going against this huge wheel that always trying to run them over. For example, you can lose custody of a child, and that has happened in the past. Or you can lose a job. You might not get a job sometimes if you write that you are a polyamorous person, because society has the stigma that it's not okay. So that's number one. Number two, even though it sounds so beautiful, the problem lies in details. And I'll give you an example. I knew this one guy. He was in a polyamorous relationship with his girlfriend for 5 years. So they had a hierarchical polyamorous relationship, where they were the primary couple, but they were allowed to exercise their sexual desires and intimate desires with someone else. And at the time, he tried to get with me, so he said his girlfriend would be okay with that. So, and that he said that at the time, that girlfriend was in Brazil, having fun with her Brazilian love. And that he was so happy that his girlfriend is orgasming from another man. And so, and then, he was proclaiming and preaching how wonderful polyamorous relationship is, and that's the future of the world. And then his girlfriend came back to New York, and so she found another guy to exercise her sexual fantasies and emotional endeavors with. And this is a real story. So it was his girlfriend's night to spend the night with someone else, but my friends, something happened to him and he needed his girlfriend really bad. So he went and knocked on her door and she didn't open. And then when she was done having sex with them, she opened, and he started yelling and screaming with her, "How could you? I really needed you." And then she just screamed at his face, "Do you see? You wanted that. This just does not work." So that was the end of the 6-year relationship for them. That's the only person that I personally knew that exercised that. I knew some other people who exercised open relationship, but there were still lies involved. Like they were hiding things from their primary partners. You have to have lots of time in order to have polyamorous relationship, because imagine the relationship between two people are already complicated enough. So imagine now you bring in a third or fourth person, and it's not sex, it's emotions, it's intimacy. You have to take consideration everybody's emotions, and you have to have the schedule. And if you're living a busy life and you have a career, how are you going to juggle all that? So those are the things that taken into consideration. The closest I've gotten to that is that I twice actually went with my ex-husband with my ex-boyfriend and my current boyfriend to have a dinner. And I felt, I'm so special. I can do this. I'm so special. And by the way, that's another thing that polyamorous people possess. They think like, I'm so evolved. I'm so special. They have that in them. I felt that when I went out with 3 of my men to dinner. So, yes, it can work, but it's very difficult. I don't think we're consciously there yet. Because, I mean, imagine children. Try to take a toy from a child. He'll scream until the end of the earth. Or try not to pay attention to a child. He'll scream or she'll scream until the end of the earth. We want attention. We want love, and we want to possess things. It's mine, right? We all want to have things as our own. It's nice when it's our own. We have to be so self-sufficient and confident and have the level of self-worth to the point where it does not matter how other person treats us or how much that other person invests in us to feel worthy, right? If we somehow come to that feeling, then yes, maybe there will be an alignment for us to experience polyamorous relationship as a society. And in fact, the most conscious people on planet Earth nowadays choose consciously to be in a monogamous relationship because it serves their highest good, and not just their highest good, but also the highest good for the society in general. One of the successful polyamorous guys out there, he said, if you feel completely sure that you're indispensable to your partner, in other words, you have to feel 100% that your partner will not replace you no matter what. And if you feel that way, then go for it. And if you can't feel that way, don't go for it. The last thing I want to say is that a lot of polyamorous people, they sort of like, they say, okay, we're not monogamous by nature. And look at what happened 2,000 years ago. Everybody was fucking everyone and nobody knew whose child was it. But that was a tribal. Oh my gosh, someone's having sex. Like right in front of the window. My gosh, this is crazy. And they didn't even close the window. Unbelievable. Okay, so all right. So what was I saying? What was I saying? I mean, do you want to look? I'm completely distracted. Yeah, tribalism. They compare it to the sexual relationship with tribalism. I have to close the window. So, no, don't compare yourself to tribalism. That's when people were completely unconscious, less conscious than we are now. And so, those kind of behavior were driven by impulses from limited perspective. From that, we moved on to conscious monogamy. So that process that brought us to conscious monogamy may very well be the same process that would lead us from conscious monogamy to conscious polyamory. This can happen. But right now, 2019, we are not ready for that yet. All right, my worthy one. That's all I have to say, my worthy one. That's all I have to say. I can't believe it. That's all I have to say. I will see you in my next video.